So, you've got it, that big idea. The one that keeps you up at night, the one you think is going to change the game. But before you go any further, there's one massive question you have to ask. Will it actually work? Turns out, the odds might be a little steeper than you think.
Take a good long look at this number, because according to the research, this is pretty much what you're up against.
Yep, you're reading that right. For every 100 business ideas out there, only one is estimated to actually be commercially viable. That means 99 of them, even the ones that sound amazing, are likely to fizzle out before they even get off the ground. That's a tough pill to swallow.
So that brings us right back to you and your idea. How in the world do you figure out if yours is that special one? Do you just launch and hope for the best? No way. There is a much, much smarter way to do this.
The solution is to give your idea a serious, honest-to-goodness reality check. It's a process, a tool really, called a feasibility study. And it's probably the most critical step that most excited entrepreneurs just skip right over.
So what is it exactly? Well, a feasibility study is basically a preliminary evaluation to see if your business idea is actually worth pursuing. It's not about killing your dream, it's about making sure your dream has a real shot at survival in the real world.
I love this analogy. Think of it like this. You would never want a pilot to just taxi onto the runway and hope for the best, right? Of course not. You want them to run through that pre-flight checklist. This is the exact same concept for your business. It helps you spot the potential problems while you're still safely on the ground, so you don't crash and burn after you've already taken off.
Okay, so how does this whole reality check actually work? Well, a proper feasibility study isn't just one big question. It's more like a comprehensive, four-point inspection that looks at your idea from every crucial angle.
And this image, well, it lays it all out perfectly. Right there in the middle, you've got your goal, the overall feasibility of your project. But holding it all up, you see these four pillars: technical, market, financial, and environmental analysis. Let's do a quick flyby of what each one means.
First up is the technical side. This is the real nuts and bolts of your idea. It asks the simple, brutal question. Can you actually build it? Do you have the right tech, the right materials, the right skills to make your product or deliver your service?
Next, we've got the market analysis, and this one is an absolute giant. You could have the most brilliantly engineered product in history, but if nobody wants it or is willing to pay for it, you don't have a business, you just have a hobby. This part forces you to find out who your customers are and if they'll actually open their wallets.
Then, of course, we get to the financial analysis. Yep, the money. This is where you have to get brutally honest with the numbers. What's it going to cost to get this thing started? What are your recurring expenses? And the million-dollar question, can this thing actually turn a profit?
And finally, there's the environmental analysis. And no, we're not talking about trees and recycling here. We're talking about the business environment you're about to step into. It's all about looking outside your own doors at the bigger picture. Things like economic trends, government rules, or, huge competitors who could make your life very difficult.
Okay, to make this really concrete, let's zoom in a little bit and do a quick deep dive on that very first pillar. Technical feasibility.
So really, the key here is that technical feasibility is a totally honest look at everything you need to operate. We're talking about the hardware, the software, the raw materials, and, just as important, the actual skills your team has.
And digging in means you start asking these really practical, kind of tough questions. You've got to look at every piece of the puzzle. Is the tech you're planning to use going to be obsolete in a year? Can you even get your hands on it easily? And does it actually do what your customers need it to do? Answering these honestly is, well, it's non-negotiable.
And answering those questions leads you right into concrete planning. You start to define your scale. Are you going to be a small local shop, or are you trying to go global? Then you got to analyze your supply chain. And finally, you have to pick a location, because that affects everything from costs to hiring. This is how an idea on a napkin starts turning into a real blueprint.
So, after you've worked your way through all four of those pillars, the technical, the market, the financial, and the environmental, you're left with one final job. The whole point of this entire exercise is to get you right here, to a place where you can make an informed decision. Not a choice based on pure passion or a gut feeling, but a strategic go or no-go based on actual evidence and clear-eyed analysis. I think this quote just nails it. It's all about taking as much of the guesswork out of the equation as you possibly can. Now, it's not a crystal ball. It won't get rid of all the risk, but it dramatically lowers the chances of you getting blindsided by something you should have seen coming. And I really want to leave you with this idea.
A feasibility study is not a negative thing. It's not designed to just shoot your idea full of holes. It's actually a constructive process. It helps you find the weak spots so you can fix them. It pressure tests your assumptions. It forces you to build a rock-solid foundation, giving your idea the best possible chance to be that 1 in 100.
So as you're thinking about your own game-changing idea, ask yourself, have you run the checklist? Is your idea truly built to last?